Hi guys. Okay, this is the first lesson in the Laravel Livewire series that we reviewed earlier. So we have this Laravel 8 application just installed. Let's run this application first. Okay, let's go ahead and refresh this page. Okay, so it works. So let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, let's remove this UI and let's install Laravel Livewire. We'll go for this, we'll go to just docs. Before that, actually, let's clean up our UI a little bit and let's pull Bootstrap here so that we can use it in our project. Okay, for this, first let's go ahead and resources, views, welcome.blade. To understand like why I'm going to welcome.blade, just go to routes web folder and say like welcome view is being rendered. So we'll go here. We'll just remove everything in here and let's remove this guy here as well. Okay, and what else we have here? Oh, let's move these tiles as here. Let's pull in Bootstrap here. Okay, we'll just use this installation kit. Okay, so we cleaned up our UI. So let's go ahead and install Livewire. To install Livewire, let's go ahead and require these packages. Let's copy and paste this package. Okay, cool. Livewire is installed. Let's go ahead and rerun our application. Let's go ahead and refresh our application. Okay. To start actually working with Livewire, we just have to include Livewire styles and Livewire scripts here. Let's go ahead and do that. And same for Livewire scripts. Okay. So we included the Livewire styles and script. Let's go ahead and what actually it does when we render our UI. Let's go ahead and see the source. If we go into the source, we can see like, okay, it added, these are two blade directives. So we know that blade directives actually can render the render HTML or anything actually in our HTML. So it is rendering Laravel styles, and also Laravel script actually is rendering these scripts into our browser. So that's it actually. That's all the thing that we need to set up the Livewire. So let's go ahead and try to create our first component. We'll create first component Livewire counter. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let's open another terminal. Okay, so once we create the Livewire component, it actually created two files, counter.php and also the counter.blade.php. Let's go ahead and check these counter apps. HTTP Livewire counter.php. So in counter, we know like it is trying to render the Livewire .counter file. Let's go ahead and check that as well. So it's just a plain old file. So let's go ahead and write our hello Livewire. So we know it is working. Okay, and to actually render this Livewire component here, we can use another Laravel blade directive, Livewire blade directive Livewire, and we will use the name of our component Livewire counter. So let's go ahead and refresh our application. Cool. So we are able to render our first Livewire component. So let's go ahead and write a reactive component here. To do that, we will just again consult the Livewire documentation. So based on Livewire documentation, we'll just add these guys here, account field and an increment method. For that, let's go ahead and add this. And in our counter.php, let's go ahead and add these guys. Okay. Let's try to understand this. So what we did is we did add a public property in the counter file, and then we wrote an increment method where we're just trying to increase the count. And here in counter.bleed PHP, we're just telling this button. So whenever there is a click, so wire it to increment. So let's go ahead and see if it works or not. Let's go ahead and refresh this. Okay, so we got an increment button and we got a label. Let's go ahead and try to refresh it, and let's see it is not working. So let's go ahead and see what is the problem. So okay, so the problem is failed to load resources. It is not able to load the resource from LiveWire.js. Let's go ahead to fix this. Let's go ahead and publish our configuration and update our URL if we need to. Okay, cool. So it actually published all the necessary configuration. Let's go ahead and refresh this application. Okay, so this error is gone. Let's go ahead and try to increment this. Oh, cool. So we're able to use the reactive UIs of reactive components of Laravel LiveWire. So let's go ahead and now try to understand what is the magic that is happening. So to understand this, we'll just go to our network tab and XHR, and we'll refresh our UI again. So let's click on it and let's see what is going on. So if we see there is a counter method here, there is a counter AJAX call going on, and let's check the header. So what it is doing is it is sending an AJAX request to localhost 1234 LiveWire message counter. And then if we should check the payload, let's go ahead and check that. The most interesting thing is here, updates. This is just a fingerprint, name of the component, and the path, and the ID that is being generated by LiveWire. This is just a random string that is being generated whenever they are initializing the component. So in here, if you in the update, if you see like that is this update is of type call method, and then the payload is method increment. There is no parameters to it. So what LiveWire is doing is trying to call the method on the counter object that is named increment. So if we go here, and you can see, so whenever there is a click, it will send an AJAX call to LiveWire controller. Actually, let's go ahead and check where is this controller. For that, we will just do PHP artisan route list. Okay, so we have our route list. We can see, okay, so this is the post method, LiveWire message, and then the name of the component. So it is being sent to HTTP connection handler. So if we go to HTTP connection handler, you can see. So if you go to connection handler, it is actually extending this class. So this method is being called lifecycle manager from subsequent request, hydrate, render to view, dehydrate, and you don't need to worry about too much. We will cover all of these things in our deep dive sessions. For now, you just need to understand this call method, which is being called update type call method. So there may be like there are other call methods as well. Let's go ahead and check that as well. Call method, and then I think there is an update property as well. Let's go ahead and in the LiveWire, let's check this out. If you go ahead and check, there is a call method here. Okay, so what it is doing is like this. This is a middleware that whenever actually show request is going, so it goes through multiple middlewares from Laravel LiveWire middleware. These are the LiveWire middlewares. So it goes through this and it passes this component instance here, and then if it is a call method, then it calls a method on that, and this is the method name and the parameter if there is any. So yeah, I think this is pretty much it for this component, and let's do this is just to understand the model binding. Actually, as we can see, our counter.php, this is just to check the click binding. And let's go ahead and check the model bindings as well instead of this. And let's remove this and let's input type text, and let's model it to count. Hi, and let's change. Let's keep it same, and let's go ahead and refresh this. Okay, so let's try to update this count. Cool. So now we just there are multiple type of bindings, so we'll get to these in details in our deep dive section. For now, just try to follow along and try to understand like how this is doing. This is being reactive. Okay, 6700. Cool. So it worked. And let's try to add another. Maybe select here. So this model actually pretty much, if you're coming from the view background, so you need to understand. So this is the template, and then this is your JavaScript code. Okay, but there is no JavaScript and everything is view and blade. Okay, so what happens is like whenever there is an increment, whenever the call method is being called, it increment, it update the values, and then it renders this. It pass all the public properties that we have to this view, and then it renders the view, and it send back this HTML here. Send back this HTML here. Let's go and check. Okay, so in our case it's just it's a model. Let's go ahead and check this HTML. Okay, so this is the HTML that is being sent back. So in here and on the client side, and there this JavaScript actually from the library, it checks checks which component to update within this live one element, and it just intelligently updates that. It does not update the whole HTML. Rather, it only updates the component that needs to be updated. So yeah, that's it for this lesson. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Cheers.